Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, Mark. So we've been working for about 10 to 11 months, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think I joined the gym this time last year. You did my induction
Yeah.
back in the day, and
And
then yeah, I think when we started, we were doing like one session a week. Then we upped it to two. Um, when I felt like I could go into the gym a bit more,
yeah.
and yeah, happy
Okay, so
days.
initially, why did you choose the whole fitness? Like, was it a matter of being recommended, or was it a matter of convenience?
The total fitness,
Yeah.
genuinely, I thought that if I paid more for a gym membership, then people who go there are more likely to put the weights back. That
Yeah.
was
Okay.
that was genuinely it. And it was not true. People still don't put
Yeah.
the weights back, regardless of which gym you go to.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's a decent gym. I know like my auntie goes there. I know I've heard of a few other people that go there as well. And yeah, it's convenient to get to. Nothing more than that, really.
Okay. So, what was your initial goal?
Initially, it was to build a healthy routine. I knew I was in a bad routine. I had bad mental health problems, and I didn't have a particularly healthy lifestyle. And I knew something needed to change. So I just got sick of it, and I thought, well, I need to start building a habit of some form of healthy routine, whether that's just like walking into the gym and walking back out again once twice a week, just get into the habit of it. As I knew something really needed to change. So that's the main reason I joined the gym. I know there's probably like other reasons, like I don't know, um, family history of bad health in general, which I wanted to avoid when I get older, and stuff like that. Really, just kind of be generally fitter, not be quite as knackered all the time.
No, I think everybody could use that a little bit more.
Exactly, yeah. Um, but yeah, the main reason was to just get that healthy routine started, and that was 12 months ago. And I'm still going to the gym regularly now. I'm pretty consistent.
Yeah, you're doing
So
well.
yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I think I've achieved that,
Yeah.
and probably carry on doing it for years to come.
Yeah. So I remember we started at 109 kilograms. So
Yeah,
how much do you weigh right now?
95 is what I weigh now.
95. Okay.
So that's what 14 kilograms. It's about 2 stone 3 pounds ish. So yeah, it's quite a lot.
Yeah, that's quite a bit to be honest.
Yeah, I'm very pleased with it. I get comments from people saying that I look like I've lost weight. I'm looking much better.
Love to hear it.
So, so yeah, I'm quite happy with that.
Okay, so next question is what was your experience with personal training? Any comments, any misconceptions that you had before starting?
Um, so I didn't really have any real expectations of what's going to happen because I've never had a sort of personal trainer before. I know I'm quite aware of myself, and I know that I hate missing appointments. So I
Yeah.
knew that if I got a personal trainer,
Yeah.
I would turn up because I'm told to be at a certain place at a certain time, and I have that accountability. That's the main thing that I got out of personal training. I mean, obviously there's the stuff about form. I've absolutely no idea how to do things correctly. And I thought last thing I want to do is to hurt myself. I think I'd had an experience about a decade ago or something where I'd joined a gym and then I'd hurt myself and just not gone back. And I wanted to avoid that. I wanted to give myself as few excuses as possible not to keep turning up. and having someone there who would be like, "Come on, you're
Crack the
turning up
whip.
now," cracking the whip and all that.
Yeah.
And not just cracking the whip, really. It's more encouragement and support. I definitely needed that. So yeah, this it's worked out much better than I thought it ever would.
Okay. Yeah, I think what we did well is we focused on a few things, on a few movements, and we just started building up. So getting small wins, building
Yeah,
that momentum, then like seeing how much we like to see the numbers go up.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, we definitely focused on what progress we were making. And there was very few weeks where we felt that you hadn't made some form of progress in one way or another. Even if it was like a bad week at the gym, I'd lost weight, and that's something to
Yeah,
to to
yeah,
win about. I was definitely focusing on the wins.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So talking about wins, what would you say is your biggest win outside of the weight loss, of course, which is in itself quite impressive?
Um, well, my biggest win is, like we've already mentioned, it's just consistently turning up. That was the goal, building that habit of going, and I feel much better. Um, you know, my mental health problems don't affect me as much, and when they do affect me, they don't last as long. Um, it's all stuff that I never really expected would happen. I didn't have a great outlook at how well everything was going to go, and everything's turned out great. Um, and yeah, I think I'm quite happy with the routine that I've built, and certainly that you've helped us build. So yeah, I'd
Team
say that
effort,
was probably
team
the
effort.
biggest win. Exactly, yeah.
I'm pointing at the watch and you're showing up.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Showing up is half the battle, isn't it?
Exactly.
Okay. So you did mention facing some obstacles with mental health and
Yeah.
everything. So would you say that was your biggest struggle or biggest obstacle to coming in?
100%. 100%. But even like over this past year hasn't been plain sailing, and I've still managed to at least turn up. And even if I turn up and the session in the gym's absolutely terrible. I've not been sleeping well or whatever, and I can't really shift as much weight as I would I'd done the week before or whatever. Um, those are kind of like the hardest weeks, but I've still managed them.
Yeah.
Because I've got that support around me to kind of push me to do that, and there is another side. You don't always kind of stick in that bad spot, and you eventually start progressing again.
Yeah. Showing up and doing what you can, pushing yourself and trying to shift that understanding of what pushing yourself kind of means.
Yeah,
I talked with Dave today, and he did say, "Well, I didn't perform," and I did say, "Well, you kind of need to see where you're at during that day and do the most that you can."
yeah. I mean, you can't go all out every single time.
I
It's
wish,
just not
I wish.
realistic. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you'll have some days where you're just absolutely smashing it and you feel fantastic, and then you'll have some days where you've not done as well as you have done previously. But is it as good as you could have done then? Yeah, probably. It's still progress regardless of whether you've had a fantastic session or a not very good session. It's still turning up and still progressing towards your goal.
Yeah, yeah, no, great. So, what would you say to yourself on the first day that you entered the gym? So, if you met Mark a year ago, what would you tell him?
Well, carry on doing what you're doing. I mean, it works out. It works out well. I mean, I had that mindset at the start that this is something that I wanted to address the kind of the unhealthy lifestyle, and I wanted to make progress and be healthier and get into that routine. And that's exactly what I've done. So if I saw myself on the first stage, be like, yeah, you do exactly what you're doing right now, because it works out in the end.
Yeah, okay. So, what was your experience working with me then?
Um,
Any
you're doing all
comments?
right.
Any
You're doing
experiences?
okay. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Sorry, I'll
it's
cut
been
that
good.
this part out.
Cut it all
And what
out.
I mean
But
by that is I'll take your voice sample and just make you say good things about me for ends to come. Yeah.
right, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has been good. I mean, you've said we've had that open communication. I think that's been
No.
important. As soon as that breaks down, things tend to just generally go wrong. I think when I've told you, you know what, I'm not in a good space today, and you've been understanding of that, and we've cracked on and done what we've needed to do. But in a similar vein, if you think maybe he's just being a bit lazy today, you're able to judge that well. You know what, I reckon he could get an extra few reps if he pushed himself.
Yeah.
And yeah, I manage that and feel better for it afterwards. It's like you pay attention to what's going on,
Yeah.
and don't just kind of leave me struggling and go, yeah, it's like a tick box, a checkbox exercise. And if we've got questions as well, you're knowledgeable enough to answer them.
Yeah.
There's loads of like myths out there when it comes to fitness, and I think I've fallen for most of them, and I'm probably going to continue falling for them
Yeah.
going forwards. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. Passage
Um,
words, right?
exactly, yeah. So but when I ask you those questions, you'll have a good understanding of why is this a myth or why isn't this a myth,
Yeah.
and what the kind of optimal approach is. And you put the legwork in at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You read up on keep yourself up to date with what the latest approaches are. What's the science saying is the best way forwards. And we try them out and we see if it works for me. And if it does, then great. We'll continue with that. If it doesn't, then we move on, try something else until we get to a place like for deadlifts, for example. Um, you know, I struggle to kind of engage my back, and keep it kind of in a neutral position. So then we started doing, we'll lighten the load a bit, and then we'll do a little bit of pauses at the start, um, and then come up, and that engages my back and keeps my back straight throughout the whole movement, and I don't get any kind of lower back pain as I was doing very early on because I got a desk job,
Yeah.
and I sit hunched over a desk all day.
Yeah.
That's not a problem anymore.
Yeah.
So it's just little things like that really, which is just great.
Yeah. I think an important thing to mention is I always say it depends as well. So I never give a straight answer.
So yeah, never get a really straight answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's always it
No.
depends, and because you know to say that it depends just shows how much you know. At the end of the day, you could some people would just be like, yeah, yeah, bro lifting and all that ego lifting is always the
Yeah.
way forward, blah blah blah. And
Yeah.
really, we know that that's not the case, or
Yeah.
it depends on
It depends. Yeah.
yeah,
Even now
what
I'm
your
thinking it
goal is.
depends.
Yeah, I mean, if you're training for strength or something, you need to start lifting really heavy weights. If you're a power lifter,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to do those one rep maxes every now and then.
Yeah.
You're very knowledgeable and all that kind of stuff.
I think I'm lucky to be into fitness from 15 or so, read a
Yeah,
bunch of stuff, and then be able to practice with you guys. I think my
thank you.
experience with
Yeah,
working it with you, Dave, and Mark, and other people has really like allowed me to see what works, what doesn't, and what kind of considerations there are.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah. It's
I'd say it's luck. It's luck more so than anything, really.
I don't know. I don't know as many people who work as hard as you do.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I'm not putting that in the video. That's just to try hard.
well, you genuinely, I was saying it to Dave
Yeah.
before. It's
Yeah.
like as I said, he puts the legwork in. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So happy days.
Yeah. Well, it's been a privilege working with you, Mark, and
Privilege.
a privilege, dear sir, esteemed colleague. Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
And yeah, we'll see how we get on with online training then.
Yeah, yeah.
200 coming
Looking
in
forward to it.
on deadlift.
200.
Yeah, 200.
Well,
Can
I
let
felt
Dave win.
I felt pretty strong this morning, I gotta tell you.
Oh,
Anyway,
okay.
yeah,
Next week
Renzo's
going
got
up in weight.
yeah, exactly. All right, mate.
Okay. Well then, that's that. Let me
Happy
just
days.
stop recording.